Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Thank you for being here. We are going to begin this hour with King Charles and Queen Camilla's state visit to the U.S. as this historic visit enters its next major chapter. Later today, King Charles will address a joint meeting of Congress. He becomes just the second reigning British monarch to do so, more than 3 decades after his mother, Queen Elizabeth's landmark address in 1991.
The speech comes at a pivotal moment for U.S. and U.K. relations. The king is expected to reaffirm the two countries share democratic values, security partnership, and that enduring alliance. Yesterday, King Charles and Queen Camilla arrived in the U.S. They were welcomed by President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump at the White House for tea. Later went to a garden party at the British ambassador's residence. This morning, we're following every angle of the king's state visit, including what his message to Congress could signal for that U.S.-UK partnership amid these growing global tensions. We begin with NBC News Washington correspondent Alice Barr in Washington with a preview. Alice, good morning.
Good morning, Joe and Savannah. And this royal visit comes amid a heightened focus on security and also on a time when there's an effort to strengthen these longstanding ties. A Buckingham Palace official says the king will emphasize reconciliation and renewal and what he'll call one of the greatest alliances in human history. Today in Washington, the pageantry of a state visit fit for the UK's King Charles and Queen Camilla, with the undercurrents of the complex issues roiling some of America's top alliances. King Charles set to address Congress with a message emphasizing the U.S.-UK special relationship and coming together around shared democratic values, despite challenging times. That's according to a Buckingham Palace official. Among the challenges, a strain on President Trump's relationship with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
Amid tensions over the war with Iran and the president's frustrations, the British and other European allies haven't done more to back the U.S., despite the president not consulting them before the start of the war. Allies hoping the king's warm ties with President Trump can smooth diplomatic waves. During a visit celebrating 250 years of America's independence, capped by an official state dinner tonight. It all comes amid scrutiny over security following Saturday's White House Correspondents Dinner shooting. The White House confirming a meeting
with top DHS leadership, members of the United States Secret Service, and our own operations team here to ensure the safety and the security of the president, as we do have many of these major events moving forward.
The suspect, Cole Allen, made his first court appearance Monday, facing federal charges of attempting to assassinate President Trump. The president has said he was satisfied with the Secret Service response, tackling Allen before he made it into the event, though the White House says there may be changes to security protocol. And King Charles will reference the Correspondents' Dinner shooting at the start of his speech, according to a Buckingham Palace official. And in keeping with the king's dual task here, it was written by the UK government to support their priorities, NATO, the Middle East, Ukraine, all framed within the king's own language and tone. Joe and Savannah.
All right, Alice, thank you so much.
For more on what's ahead, we're joined now by royal editor at Hello Magazine, Emily Nash. Emily, good morning. Thanks so much for being here. So we know the king's speech is expected to focus on the idea of reconciliation and renewal, we've heard, and of course on this enduring alliance between the U.S. and UK. What are we expecting today?
Well, it's going to be a huge moment for King Charles, his first address to Congress as monarch, obviously only the second British monarch ever to make this address. And he's obviously thought about it a great deal. And there has been this back and forth between the palace and 10 Downing Street to get his speech absolutely right. But this set piece is very, very important for our relationship. He's going to stress the need to defend our shared ideals and, ultimately to transcend the difficulties we've experienced in recent weeks and months and think about the longer term for both countries.
Emily, as Alice just reported, Buckingham Palace says the speech will support the UK government's priorities, but the tone is often the king's own. So how do you expect him to put his personal stamp on this message?
Well, I've watched the King delivering these addresses to governments overseas on several occasions, and he does like to inject a bit of humour. He likes to refer to, shared cultural moments, for example. And I do think that while there will be some weighty themes in here, he will add his own personal touches to the speech.
Then there's the state dinner. That's later tonight, a major ceremonial moment. But behind all the pomp, what does it actually signal diplomatically?
Well, it's a moment to come together and celebrate and show each other great mutual respect. And I think that this really helps foster the environment for the delegations behind the scenes to get done what they need to do. It helps to oil the wheels. And of course, it's fascinating for everyone else to watch. It's a moment for a bit of pomp and pageantry and a bit of glamour. And that helps, smooth over some of the difficulties going on behind the scenes.
And we should note this royal tour is not just a D.C. thing, truly going beyond the Beltway. It'll continue in New York and Virginia. Walk us through what is still ahead and what are the moments that could have a big impact.
I think what we're going to see in New York is a moment of somber reflection at the 9/11 memorial. Of course, we're approaching the major anniversary this year, and I think that the King and Queen will want to pay their respects. But then they are going to have, following day in Virginia, kind of the opposite situation, a moment of celebration at a block party. They want to meet as many Americans from all walks of life as they can. So it's not just about the high-level diplomacy and the political issues going on between our two countries. It's also an opportunity really to celebrate that people-to-people connection.
Emily Nash, thank you so much. Great to hear from you. And we will have special coverage of King Charles' address to Congress. It begins at 3 p.m. Eastern. You can watch live on NBC News and right here on NBC News Now.
Let's turn back to that other big story in Washington. The first court appearance for the man accused in Saturday's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. He was in federal court yesterday.
31-year-old Cole Tomas Allen is now facing multiple charges, including one of attempting to assassinate President Trump. After his arraignment, high-ranking officials from the Justice Department held a press conference providing more details about the charges and the events leading up to the attack.
Make no mistake. This was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States, with the defendant making clear what his intent was. And that intent was to bring down as many of the high-ranking cabinet officials as he could.
NBC News political reporter Megan Leibowitz joins us now with more on this. Megan, we'll dig a little deeper into the charges with Danny Savalos in just a moment. But we know following the arraignment and this press conference, what more did we learn about the suspect, the attack itself, and just the days that led up to what happened Saturday night?
Yeah, good morning, Joe and Savannah. We're learning more details about how the attack unfolded, as well as that timeline leading up to that dinner. So I want to walk you through some of it. So we heard that in an affidavit that Secret Service had heard a gunshot as the suspect in that video that you can see on your screen ran through the magnetometer. Now, then after that, Secret Service fired at the suspect about 5 times, according to Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. The suspect was not struck by gunfire, but fell and then was arrested. Now, we're also learning more about the days in the weeks really leading up to the attack. We learned from the press conference and the materials released yesterday that on April 6th, that's when the defendant had allegedly made that hotel reservation at the Hilton where that dinner was taking place. Then later on April 21st, that's when the suspect began allegedly that multi-day train trip from Los Angeles to Chicago, then to D.C., where the day before the White House Correspondents' Dinner, that is when he allegedly checked into that hotel as well. Now, the affidavit that was released yesterday as well also includes the writings that the suspect allegedly sent his family right before the attack unfolded. Now, as we've previously reported, in those writings, the suspect had expressed anti-Trump administration sentiment and had also said that he was going to be targeting Trump administration officials, prioritized, in his view, from highest ranking to lowest ranking official. Joe and Savannah.
Megan, the White House Ballroom project keeps coming up in the aftermath of this shooting, including during that press conference we mentioned, brought up by Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. What did he have to say about that, and where do things in the legal battle to get it approved stand?
Yeah, that's right. So in the aftermath of this shooting, Trump administration officials, including the president himself, have renewed their push again for the White House ballroom, arguing that the shooting indicated that the ballroom was necessary to guarantee the president's safety in a large event like this. So Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche was asked about this and addressed this yesterday during that press conference, where he argued that the ballroom situation was really a meaningful safety issue and said that the administration would continue to fight a lawsuit in court. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We absolutely believe that there is no better example of why this ballroom is necessary, aside from all the very positive things the ballroom will bring to this country and to Washington, D.C., than what happened on Saturday night. You guys, many of you all were there. That's one of the only places in D.C. that you can hold an event like that due to its size and the structure of what we need.
Just to back up for a second, give you some background here, the National Trust for Historic Preservation had sued to try to halt the construction of the ballroom. After the shooting, the Justice Department had asked them to voluntarily drop the lawsuit. Yesterday, we heard from the head of the trust saying that they would not voluntarily drop that lawsuit. And so yesterday, then, following that response, the Trump administration then entered another filing, pushing for the court, really, to put an end to the lawsuit, arguing in that filing that it endangered the lives of President Trump as well as future presidents.
And Megan Blanche is also among the growing number of Trump administration officials who've been starting to point fingers, blaming the Democrats in the media for the state of political violence in the U.S. We should note we've seen political violence aimed at both parties over the years. So how are Democrats responding to that? And how does this contrast with maybe the more conciliatory tone that we heard initially from the president right after the attack?
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a shift. So right after the attack took place, President Trump in that Saturday night press briefing had really called on Americans to recommit to ending their differences peacefully. He said that there was a lot of love in that ballroom on that Saturday night when the attack unfolded. But, really even just a day later, that rhetoric, that shift started to take place in that tone. And then yesterday we heard from Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, who he also called for the end of political violence and rhetoric, but also suggested that members of the media were complicit. We also heard yesterday from White House Communications Director Stephen Chung and White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who cast blame on both Democrats and the media, arguing that they contributed to the environment that led to the shooting. Now, even just shortly after the shooting itself, President Trump, in an interview on 60 Minutes, also criticized Democrats. Joe and Savannah.
All right, Megan, thank you so much.
Let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas to talk about the charges that the suspect is facing. Danny, good morning. So the first is an attempt to assassinate the president of the United States. Second is transportation of a firearm and ammunition through interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony. And third is discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. Help us understand the significance of these charges, the potential associated sentences here.
There's such a historical significance with that first charge, attempt to assassinate the president, which most folks may not know was not passed until after JFK was assassinated. Wow. So it is a relatively young statute. Something you would have thought would have been automatic in our codes was really only passed 50 or so years ago. So then you have that. That is a life sentence that he is facing. And then the other two charges are 10-year mandatory. But here's the thing. The the discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence is a mandatory 10-year tacked on. It must be consecutive. So, I mean, we're talking about life plus 10 plus 10. And that's only the beginning. There will be more charges. This is very common when the federal government has to respond in real time. They charge what they can to begin with, and then they will what's called supersede an indictment later. In fact, they don't even have the indictment yet, so they may not even need to supersede it or amend it. They may just wait in the next 2 weeks and charge him in an indictment with counts we haven't even seen yet.
Megan mentioned these alleged writings by Allen suggesting that he was targeting administration officials. It was basically scheduled to go out to his family while the attack was taking place. What role is that going to play in this investigation, especially for prosecutors?
These writings are the smoking gun. And I say that realizing that there are literal smoking guns as evidence in this case. This is the most important evidence because it goes to intent. So rare is it that prosecutors have that kind of written evidence of what goes on in someone's mind? After all, that is the hardest thing prosecutors have to prove. The physical act, one thing, running into an area with a firearm. Next, they have to prove what was the intent. And look at the charges. They have to prove, did he intend a crime of violence? Did he intend to commit crimes once he arrived and traveled across the country? And now, conveniently, people who write these manifestos or whatever you want to call them create that evidence of intent that is just so rare in criminal prosecution. So, yes, that is the centerpiece of the evidence against him.
Prosecutors are calling for Allen to be held in pretrial detention, but his attorneys say he has no prior charges. He's presumed innocent. A detention hearing is set for this Thursday, but how do you see that going?
Yeah, I'm saying it here. You can call it Calshi. You can call it Vegas. he is not getting bail. It is a 0.0 chance that he gets out because there are at least two different what we call presumption charges that count 1 and count 2 under the Bail Reform Act. Yes, there is a presumption that defendants get bail, but in certain serious crimes, that presumption is reversed, and it becomes incumbent upon the defendant to prove that he is neither a danger to the community or that he will show up for trial. About the only thing you'll see him argue is that he has no prior criminal history, which apparently is true. But that is but a grain of sand against this avalanche of evidence that supports, under the federal statute that governs bail, that supports his detention pending trial. And you look at history, since this statute was enacted, the assassination statute, everyone, Squeaky Fromm, Hinckley, everyone who attempted to assassinate a president was detained pending trial. This will be no different.
All right, Danny Savalas, thank you so much.
Now, the White House Correspondents' Dinner shooting has sparked a rash of unfounded conspiracy theories that are now circulating on social media. Since Saturday, there have been tens of thousands of baseless theories posted online claiming the shooting was staged. That sparked growing concern about just how fast misinformation can spread in the wake of a major news event. NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Julie Serkin explains.
Moments after shots were fired at Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner, social media sleuths tried to answer swirling questions with unfounded conspiracy theories. People across the political spectrum baselessly calling the shooting staged, even as there's nothing to back that up, with authorities instead releasing evidence showing the suspect, Cole Tomas Allen, allegedly storming through security armed, and countless journalists on site for the event working the story in real time. Still, posts containing the term staged now surging on social media, featured in more than 700,000 posts since midnight on Sunday, according to data by Tweetbinder.
Just got home from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. It's after midnight.
After my own Instagram post directly following the shooting, people flooded my comments with accusations it was all staged, speculating the attack was a stunt to boost the president's ratings. Some of the theories fueled in part by these comments from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt ahead of the dinner.
This speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
The relatively innocuous comment referencing what was to come in the president's speech then went viral after the incident. Leavitt was asked about the proliferation of misinformation, calling it nonsense.
It's very important to us that we get the truth and the facts about this case and any case out there as quickly as possible to dispel some of that crazy nonsense that you do see running rampant online.
Adding to the conspiracy intrigue, a number of Trump allies posted on social media arguing the attack proves why the White House needs a new ballroom, just minutes before the president made a similar point in his press conference. The messaging does not mean the shooting was staged. Ashley St. Clair, a former right-wing influencer who's been recently critical of Trump, did not entertain the idea of a so-called staged incident, but took to TikTok to explain the tweets.
They coordinate their messaging in lockstep via group chat.
The administration did not comment specifically on St. Clair's assertion, but a White House spokesperson tells us, quote, anyone who thinks President Trump staged his own assassination attempts is a complete moron. Conspiracy theories in America have been common aftershocks around political earthquakes, but they seem to be forming and flying around the internet faster than ever before.
Social media is full of AI fakes, political showmanship, and people are accustomed to being lied to. And so they don't necessarily anymore believe the truth when it's presented to them.
2 years later, there is still a contingent of doubters with unfounded allegations after the assassination attempt against then-candidate Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. The president responding to the quick spread of such theories in a 60 Minutes interview Sunday.
I think they're more sick than they are con people, but there's a lot of con in it too. I haven't heard that last night didn't happen. Usually it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Usually they wait about 2 or 3 months to start saying that.
At the moment, it seems like lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are staying above the fray and out of speculation, while some also recognizing how quickly they're popping up. Like when I asked Congressman Jamie Raskin about it just minutes after Saturday night's incident.
This is going to fuel all that stuff, I'm sure.
Fanning the flames online as authorities push forward with the high-stakes investigation. Julie Serkin, NBC News.
In the aftermath of this weekend's shooting, President Trump is again calling for late-night host Jimmy Kimmel to lose his job, this time over comments he made before the Correspondents' Dinner. The president and First Lady are both demanding ABC fire Kimmel over a joke he made during a parody of the dinner last week. NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has more on the renewed feud.
President Trump is calling on Disney and ABC to fire late-night host Jimmy Kimmel for these comments during a parody of the White House Correspondents' Dinner that aired last Thursday.
And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
The segment aired 2 days before prosecutors say a gunman tried to assassinate the president, who slammed Kimmel for what he called a despicable call to violence, labeling the skit something far beyond the pale. The First Lady saying his monologue about my family isn't comedy. His words are corrosive and deepens the political sickness within America, adding enough is enough. The backlash comes 7 months after ABC briefly suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk.
With the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them.
Days later, Kimmel returned.
You understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man.
Our thanks to Gabe Gutierrez for that report. While Kimmel responded to the backlash in his monologue during last night's show, making the case that the joke did not have malicious intent. Listen.
You know how sometimes you wake up in the morning and the First Lady puts out a statement demanding you be fired from your job? We've all been there, right? It was a pretend roast. I said, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at her, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow, which obviously was a joke about their age difference and the look of joy we see on her face every time they're together. It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination, and they know that.
This past December, Kimmel signed a one-year extension at ABC to continue hosting the show, according to a source familiar with the matter.
Severe storm warnings are in place up and down much of the country's midsection, so let's get a closer look with your Morning News Now weather.
Andrea Romero is with us this morning. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning, Savannah and Joe. And weather continues to make major headlines across the country today, especially considering all that severe weather we had overnight. We had close to 260 reports of severe weather in parts of our country, and that included even 2 tornadoes. This morning, we're tracking this line of storms heading out of the Ohio and the Tennessee River Valley. We can see those strong, gusty thunderstorms that are impacting areas all the way from the Gulf Coast and starting to move into the Mid-Atlantic this morning. We also continue to have a severe thunderstorm watch up for parts of north central Texas and southern Oklahoma. That's until around 1 o'clock local time. And we do have that severe thunderstorm warning up here north of Abilene, which is bringing 60-mile-per-hour winds and even hail quarter size into that area. So the hotspot will continue to be from Texas to Kentucky as this front continues to move across that area. Rainfall rates of close to 2 inches per hour in some spots could produce some flood damage. So we have that flash flood risk up, especially all across from Dallas to Birmingham up into Memphis and Jackson. The main concern as far as damage is the fact that we could have hail sized up stones maybe up to 3 inches in diameter, and that of course can cause significant damage in major cities like Dallas and Shreveport. So we'll be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow the heavy rain will be moving into the northeast, storms all the way into the mid-Atlantic, and then we'll also have a new round of storms that will erupt along the Gulf Coast. We're expecting in total maybe 3 to 4 inches of rainfall in that area, and even in the northeast we can get some heavy rainfall, especially up over northern New England, in parts of New Hampshire and Maine, where we can get even up to close to 2 to 3 inches. And of course, it's still dry out in the southern plains, where any new fire can spread rapidly due to those gusty winds, that low humidity that continues to impact that area. So there's a lot we're watching across the country today.
Yeah, the fire threat feels like a constant year-round these days. Andrea, thank you so much.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.